Good day, trendy travelers. Today I literally feel like Alice in Wonderland who fell down the rabbit hole and woke up in the Mad Hatter's tea party. Well, I am in Edenvale at the Tea Room, which is an exquisite venue, but as you know, I'm not Alice in Wonderland. I am Louise Goebel and I'll be your host for today, so do stay tuned for more of Trendz Travel. Still hot on the trail to finding the best place to glamp, we start our 3-hour journey to Mabula Game Lodge, situated in the malaria-free Joburg region of the Limpopo province. Once at the gate, you're still not really there, because you still have to make your way down the lengthy dirt road to get to Mabula Game Lodge. In this distinctly African safari destination, an extraordinary encounter with South Africa's bushveld awaits you. The lodge is divided into 2 segments, the lodge rooms and the villas. The lodge offers comfortable thatched roof suites with luxury finishings, with soft neutral bushveld colors throughout the massive windows, bringing the African wildlife indoors. One can experience an unprecedented comfort while enjoying the sights and sounds. The villas allow you to enjoy your very own private safari experience, ideal for small intimate groups of close friends or family seeking an exclusive lodge experience on their terms. The dining venues for both are spectacular, from traditional in-house dining rooms to African wilderness-themed evening dinners under a 100-year-old wild tree, or you can save a scrumptious dinner under the stars in the lodge's traditional Boma dining venue. Mabula Game Lodge has a lot to offer. You can watch the wildlife or escape the winter cold in the cozy lounging area or take a break at the bar. During warmer summer months, there's always the option of taking a refreshing dip in the pool or sipping cocktails poolside. You can even soothe your weary muscles as you indulge in exotic time-honored spa treatments. Although all this is really beautiful and luxurious, it's not glamping. For a truly unique glamping experience, we are taken to Kwafubesi tented safaris. Set within an impressive 12,000 hectares of malaria-free Limpopo bushveld, Kwafubesi tented safari is located 15 minutes from the main camp.
Kwafubesi was opened 14 years ago. Normally what Kwafubesi means is the place of the giant owl. Okay, it's a 10-sleeper camp, 5 tents. No kids allowed under the age of 16. Kwafubesi is based southwest of Mabula within the game reserve.
In the open, no fences.
What are we doing? Room orientation?
Camps are on stills because there is free roaming animals, big 4 roaming animals around the camp at all times, at any given time that is. So we cannot have it based on the floor whereby you'll find a hyena fighting with you over your bed. So we need to lift up the suspension to give it more of a oomph.
Pretty much there's a plunger, there is filter coffee, a kettle, paraffin lamp, directory like I said, 2 complimentary waters that get replenished every day. We didn't keep the coffee station here because we're scared of the monkeys, so we're just leaving it as is. It's a fan working, and on this side, this is a hand radio that we installed in the tents. You are on channel 5. In case of an emergency, just contact the ranger on channel 7. There's multi-plugs at the back for your cell phones, cameras and laptops if you need to do any charging. Okay, moving on to the bathroom.
Discreetly tucked away in the surrounding bushveld to ensure guests' absolute privacy, the comfortable furnishings, African decor and full bathroom, including shower, large stone bath and stunning views, provide a welcome sanctuary from the bush. Nature lovers can revel in the unrivaled closeness of the Joburg's beautiful bush surroundings, which are unfenced. Our first official day starts with an early morning safari. I'm collected at my lodge by my own personal guide, Liam, who escorts me to the Boma area where we will start our safari. The morning drive is a cold one. The terrain is different from when we were in the Kruger. Instead of lots of bush, there are vast open spaces. We drive along quite merrily, spotting different game as we go. Halfway through our early morning adventure, I am taken to the top of the world, where all of Mabula and Kwafubesi can be seen. As far as the eye can see, that's all game land, reserves, or farms. This is definitely a picture-worthy moment. Back on the road again, we are alerted to a young elephant bull. These apparently make quite a ruckus in the area. Further along, there are more elephants, this time a matriarch and her following. We are almost charged, so we decided to get out of there, making this the opportune time for a breakfast break. We stop in one of those wide open spaces for a beautiful picnic breakfast, where we get the lowdown of our safari experience from our very capable guide. Okay, JP, so the morning drives, tell us about that.
All right, so we depart just before the sun comes up, so we can have a nice view as the sun comes up in like golden hour. And then, yeah, we go out. We literally never know what we're going to get up to. We go and we track. If we see fresh tracks, that's what we're going to follow. Hear what we smell, and that's how we go. So we never know what we're going to get up to. There's never a plan. We just do what we do. Yeah.
Yes, and on our game drives, we saw a warthog. Can you tell us a little bit more about the warthog?
Okay, so warthog, the name warthog itself is because of the warts on the face itself. So males have 4 warts, much bigger next to the eyes. The females will have only 2 warts, small warts next to their mouth. That's about it. And they're also, the warthogs, they have that follow me sign, which a lot of animals have, like giraffe have the white ears. The warthog have the tail to come up when they run. To help their friends, hey, come with me, this is the way to go. Yeah.
Now we saw a warthog mom with the little babies.
Yeah.
And you were saying that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. So the babies normally, there will be average of around 4 to 6 babies, little piglets. But unfortunately, because they're that small and it's that time of year, everything wants a little pork chop. Yeah. So they normally end up with about average of 2. Once that's growing older, if they're older than 4 months, they'll be fine to survive. But when they're these little piggies, it's a nice meal for everyone, an easy meal. Yeah.
And one of the other animals we saw, jackal.
Jackal. All right, so we've got the last season, rainy season, we actually had so many pups. We've got a lot of jackal out here, and they eat the smaller things like the mongoose and the bunnies and the antelope that just got born and stuff like that. So they're always the predators that's out here. And then we've got cat species, other cat species like African black-footed cats, caracals. You don't see them often in your servals, but they're definitely around here. They'll come visit you at night, 12 o'clock at night. We don't expect it, they come around. But Mabula itself, so Mabula, the name Mabula actually means in Swana, it's a guy opening the door to something new, something more spectacular and stuff like that. So that's what Mabula basically means. Bula means open, and Mabula is this chief that opens the door for his people to a new world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
Now the camp itself is divided into 2 different camps.
Yeah. So the lodge itself, the entire property is 12,000 hectares altogether. We've got about 10,000 hectares on the main property. That's where the main lodge and all the camps are at. Then we've got other side of the public road, because the reserve is split, it's big. We've got the lines. So the lines are separate, and we've got the rest of the big 4 this side. But in the lines enclosure, it's not a small enclosure. It's 2,000 hectares. They can do what they want. They hunt for themselves. We don't help the animals out here at all. We're actually one of the reserves that have big 5 animals roaming freely and eating freely in this entire vicinity. So that's really great for us. Yeah.
And we also saw, I think it was buffalo.
Yeah. So we've got some buffalo. What's nice about the buffalo on the property, there's a big herd, say up to 60, some that's individual roaming around as well, and they're all disease-free, TB disease-free. So bovine TB is a big thing in Southern Africa now. So having buffalo like this, that's naturally breeding, and it's all disease-free, is great for our population of buffaloes and all that, yeah.
Just an interesting fact, how much can a buffalo be sold for?
Well, the highest we've had so far is the 40 million. Lower than that, it could go anything from 1 to 10 million. That's about an average for proper male big buffalo, yeah. TB free, all that, yes.
And why are they so expensive?
They're basically expensive. Buffaloes are like cattle, but now they become expensive because of this disease that's threatening it. So that's why they became expensive. It's the same as your rhino now being really endangered just because there's money involving people in catching them and getting the horns and all that things. So we're going to protect them as well. But yeah, that's great for our buffalo.
Everybody comes here for the wildlife, but there's a lot of birds that we can actually
Yeah, we've got lots of birds, and then we've got your general game as well that you would expect in Southern Africa, like hippos and giraffe, zebras, and all the other antelope in the general game as well. That comes together. And then we've got migrating bird species coming in and out. We've got the beautiful lilac-breasted roller, really pretty bird. So yeah, the bird species, we've got falcons, we've got eagles as well. Nice birds that come here is like your secondary bird, which you don't see often, or the blue cranes and stuff like that. And African spoonbills, that's also migrating and all that, yeah. So we do get them.
And before it's all over for the morning, it is definitely selfie time. Now that was me at Kwafubesi Tented Safari Lodge, which was absolutely amazing. But do remember that you can catch us on Twitter or on Instagram on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag Trendz Travel.
SABC News celebrates Youth Month.
Now this beautiful space is the brainchild of Joanne Rulofson of The Laughing Pig. And if you love beautiful spaces, then you'll absolutely love Design Joburg.
The vibrant business district of Sandton was home to the wide variety of local design at the second annual Design Joburg. This festival was launched by a collective that saw a need in the market for a high-end showcase in design and deco.
Design Joburg is really the premier design and decor show of 2018 and any year in South Africa. This is where you find all the top designers, architects and industry trendsetters. So it's really a great privilege to be here to showcase the Dorong Malo style, which has been quite successful.
I started my journey, I guess you would say, with Design Joburg because last year we launched our initial range here and I got such positive feedback, and with launching our second range I wanted it to be here, you know. I mean, I know most of the people who organize it, so it's been like great. It's like that supportive environment, so it's great. It's like one of the greatest shows in terms of showcasing local design and local talent. So no, I love being a part of this.
South Africa has so much talent, from emerging talent to established designers. We wanted to make sure we had a bit of everything in the industry, and that we showcased a variety of work, from very masculine to feminine, bathrooms to kitchen.
This showroom event had many collaborations with designers. In the center of the space was the show-stopping cola-inspired bathroom.
The name of the stand is called The Rebirth of Alkebulan. The word Alkebulan is basically an ancient word that was used for Africa, meaning the motherland of humankind. So the whole inspiration here, the whole concept is to celebrate Africa and just to bring about what Africa is known for, you know, the richness of Africa in cultures, the minerals that we have. So the whole thing is to also celebrate the minerals of what Africa has to offer. The whole inspiration behind it is like the sun rays, and then the change represents sort of like the raindrops. Okay. And then all of this falls to the ground, which is also how you get the mosaics on the floor. Yeah.
I mean, it even has lights inside.
Yes, exactly.
You're trying to make like a disco setup in here?
No, not really. The whole experience is that you can sort of like dim the lights, and then each light will represent a different type of flow that comes from the rain shower.
Everything you see in the stand is inspired by the Perline and the Briolette basin. So we looked at the shapes that were in the basins, and we looked at how they reflect light and bend light. And we're also very inspired by the chrome in the taps. So what we wanted to do was to explode the product out into the space, and that's what we see here. In the coloring, in the reflections, and in the light and shadow.
Africa has taken center stage in design. Urban native designer Kwafubesi finds fulfillment in creating culturally informed interior designs that are inspired by the functionality of mid-century European furniture.
The range that we're showcasing this weekend is inspired by the textural and sculptural qualities of traditional African hairstyle, almost like an ode and a love letter to African hair. But it's also juxtaposed with like functionality and using modern materials. Like we have a side table that's also a light, our Makeba light side table. So you plug in the whole side table and it functions both as a light and a side table. So that inspires me, line inspires me, form inspires me, and stories. You know, like I don't just design for functionality's sake, I also design to tell stories. My son is both Belgian and Tswana. I want to be able to leave the legacy that he can use as pieces, as functional pieces, but it also tells a story about part of who he is.
Johannesburg-based boutique interior architect, well known for his design work in the restaurant and nightlife scenes, Tristan Du Plessis collaborated with young conceptual designer Tuwa Mizulu in creating a cutting-edge kitchen space.
Yeah, it's Miami Vice. It's actually a James Bond villain, right? Yeah, James Bond villain vibes. We've got a lot of dark marble. We've got the Cartier brushed bronze. Very expensive light fittings. We've got this furniture from Italy that we've got custom made for us from Diesel Moroso. Custom server, all deep wood paneled walls. So yeah, we haven't held back in terms of luxury. Both Tristan and I, he's in like hospitality. I'm also trying to get into hospitality and also corporate. So this, both for us, it was like very challenging, you know, because we don't specialize in kitchen design, like residential. So I think it was quite an interesting experience to actually design this kind of stand.
Design extraordinaire Donald Ngumalo's love for fusing contemporary African aesthetic with a hint of the classic antique pieces has taken his brand to the top.
In the stand, you'll find beautiful lamps. I love Maasai. I love Kenya. That's my favorite destination to visit. So you find the Maasai lamps, which we've specifically, in this case, designed a lampshade for. We have embroidered scatter cushions that come from a company called Ivili Loboya in the Eastern Cape. They have goats, and they have goats here in South Africa. They shear it, and the manufacturing process happens 100% in South Africa. You'll also see beautiful linens here. I love using textures, and against the chunky textures, I've got beautiful velvets.
This year I'm more inspired because I see the likes of Donald, they've went big, like they've pushed beyond boundaries. So as an up-and-coming decorator, I feel much more inspired.
Design Joburg just incorporates the young lifestyle and the beauty that one wants to surround themselves with. So if you want your place to look in a particular way and have a certain feel, this is the right place to actually come scout for certain pieces. Without having to have a more European, Western, you mix it all together, actually, pretty much. That's what happens when you come here.
For those of us with less expertise in the design world, here's a tip on how to have a trendy classic home.
Don't rush. I think buy investment pieces. Buy pieces you'll love that can last a lifetime. I think where you can have fun and you can follow trend is on your smaller items. You know, your cushions, your objet. Spend money and change that seasonally. But your big expensive pieces, invest in pieces you love.
Ivorian photographer Frank Fanny's home is also a gallery of some of his best loved work.
Ma carrière photographique commence, je dirais, à peu près avec ces photos-là. Voilà. Ce sont les photos d'une usine de traitement de manganèse à Kingston. Voilà. Ici, c'est des portraits que j'ai faits pour des Mboro que j'ai rencontré au nord du Nigeria, à Yola. Voilà, c'est très rare que je fasse des portraits. Et c'est les rares portraits qu'il y a de moi. Je pense même que vous êtes les premières personnes